This is the Parley, a place where guests are required to put their money where their mouth is, where we double down on the discourse and conversation. That's the only currency accepted. Proudly presented by the Nefarious Media Network.
And welcome to the Parley. Like that lady said off the top, this is the place where conversation is the only currency and we are paid in full. What's going on, everybody? Happy Memorial Day 2025. We are live and in living color for another episode of a show that is quickly becoming one of my favorites here at the Nefarious Media Network. I, of course, am the Godfather, Nate Milton, and I am joined on this special Memorial Day by a man who is as adept at the grill as he is in the production booth. Y'all give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for this man, two-way Ray Williams, a.k.a. I was going to call you Caitlin Clark of production, but then that means your quad to be blown out and we don't need you being out for like 4 weeks. Get well soon, Caitlin. Get well soon, sis. But Ray Williams is in the building. What's good, Ray?
Everything is everything, brother Nate. Yeah, if that was the case about the grill, then I'd be much improved as I am now. All I know how to do is put the aluminum foil on that thing. I don't know nothing else about grilling. I know a little bit of something, but I'm no grill master as of yet.
To be fair, though, as soon as I said it, I was like, no, this ain't correct. Because for those that don't know, Ray is the M'Baku of the Nefarious Media Network. He's a vegetarian. So, Ray, as much as I appreciate you, brother, I'm not coming over to your cookout for some tofurkey, man. Some tofu dogs, brother. I don't want that.
You don't want these Gardein. You don't want these Gardein Supreme hamburgers. You don't want the premium.
Yo, Impossible Burger. Don't nobody. It's impossible for me to eat that, Ray. Don't nobody want that, Ray Williams. You can have that, brother. Enjoy. But it is good to talk to you again, Ray. It seemed like only yesterday when we was having a conversation about pro wrestling with our next guest. Not even so much a guest, but the next member of the team. He is 1/2 or 1/3, depending on how you do the math, of the team over at Ring Theory, and he is back for Memorial Day. Y'all give it up for Gerard, Downtown Brown. What's good, brother?
Hey, how y'all doing today? Repping the third member of the team over here in spirit while he'll be there soon. But yeah, I'm repping the Yick over here with my Yick shirt. Gotta do Andrew Thompson.
He may show up at the end of the next episode of Ring Theory, and Jay Lacey will be all confused, and then Gerard will just walk up and hug him, much like Seth Rollins hugged Bronson Reed at the end on a Saturday night's main event. So who knows what could happen? Anything could happen here in the Nefarious Media. But we got a lot to talk about, man, on this edition of the Parlay. But let's start with some wrestling, because we were talking off mic, and there were some things that I found interesting over the weekend. Number one, Saturday night's main event, we saw the return of Cody Devontae Rhodes. We also saw, as I mentioned, Bronson Reed joining the Vision, or White Vision, or traditional Vision, however you want to categorize Seth Rollins' group. And then, maybe in the most shocking thing of the weekend, AEW had a fantastic pay-per-view, a great pay-per-view, one of their best in a while. Anarchy in the Arena was crazy. But then, to me, of course, the highlight of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, we got a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and his name is Trick Williams, Ray. Your cousin Trick.
Yeah. You know, my family, we do have some people up north in Philly, so we might be kin. But yeah, that was a tremendous shock to me, and it'll be interesting to see where Joe Hendry goes from here. Like I was giving it the benefit of the doubt when he was at WrestleMania, and he had his match with Randy Orton, and people were saying, "Oh, he's getting buried. Why would you let your champion get buried?" I'm like, it's beneficial for the brand, especially on that big of a stage to be featured. But now I'm like, oh, it kind of seemed like the shovel is out. I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Gerard, is this a situation, to quote Gloria from White Men Can't Jump? Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. And sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose. Is this one of them situations for Trick? Because on the one hand, I'm happy the brother got the gold, but now you got to go to TNA for work, sir. Like, please report to your new duty station down with any Impact Zone, sir. What do you make of the title change, and do you think this will ultimately be a good thing for Trick and for TNA?
When you tell me Trick Williams going to TNA, I don't think that's a demotion. I think that's a great experience for him to. If you look at how New Japan will send a young lion away for an excursion to then come back anew, this is not going to be some grand excursion, but sending him to go be the world champion of another company where he's at the top of the ladder, others chasing him, a whole fresh set of new competitors for him to wrestle, new baby faces that he can go against, and then to end it probably in a Mike Santana win whenever that happens. I think that's a solid way to go. I think that benefits Trick. To me, okay, yeah, that sounds like a demotion, but does that seem more interesting than what he would be doing on the main roster? Like, let's look at what Carmelo's doing. He's with the Miz, like, and I would think Carmelo was a sure hit coming out, especially when you make him the number one draft pick, and he struggled and suffered on the main roster. But keeping him quote unquote within NXT, but then sending him to TNA for this little run, I think it's a great benefit for him, his character, his actual longevity in the company. Because if they're going to try to make him a bigger star, cool. Throw Trick that, and then say Trick is on the same show that maybe John Cena, if this would ever actually happen, but John Cena would then go to wrestle Joe Hendry at a TNA show. That makes it even bigger because it's a bigger spotlight on that show. And people are going to finish the show to see the main event, and he's going to be in that main event with that title. So, or pre the main event with that title, like a Floyd Mayweather fight would be, where you have those bigger up and coming fighters on the bottom of the card. I don't see that being bad for Trick. And yet it's a different audience that now he can also show his character to, work it, grow it, and then become something hopefully better for the long run.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with this. So like I think he's gonna win. I think the Joe Hendry thing is not a burial. I think that's the you lose but you win situation, for the sheer fact that you take a knee now for the bigger contract and bigger check. That's for sure. Hopefully within a year.
Yeah. Like, it would not surprise me, on the Joe Hendry part first, Ray. Like, if this dude is still smattered around, your NXT TV, it wouldn't surprise me if not this year, then maybe next year, we get to see a Joe Hendry DLC in one of the packs for WWE 2K25. Like, it would not be out of the realm of possibility for that to occur. When we look at Trick, though, I agree with what Gerard's saying, in that this could be a time of growth for him. I'm real high on Trick. I've been high on Trick, but I think the thing that I've needed to see for him, for his sake, is, we know the brother can go in the ring. The character stuff, though, I need to see more evolution and growth in that character. And if you are the world champion of a promotion, regardless of what size that promotion is and the audience that promotion has, you're going to get a lot of opportunities to run with the ball. And so those reps, I think he's going to benefit more from reps in TNA than reps in NXT in the same position or on the main roster. Gerard mentioned Carmelo was the number one draft pick. I forgot about that. Like, maybe not to say this is about Carmelo, but the way the team is, it's like you're the number one draft pick, but you got drafted by the Washington Wizards. It's like, come on, man. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, Ray Williams. Not even the
Oh,
people that get drafted by the Washington Wizards. And so, yeah, like I think Trick's actually, even though TNA has less eyeballs than SmackDown, Trick's actually probably in a better place than his boy Carmelo. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it, Ray.
well, first off, shame on you for the Wizards catching strays, especially considering their old name, the Bullets. Yeah, I kind of do agree with you both as far as like Trick and just having him branch out, because what more is there to do? He's already a two-time NXT champion. So it's like, what more can you do with him within that realm of NXT? And so you might as well send him off to TNA and work with more seasoned performers as well, because you don't just have like rookies on that squad or people who have been wrestling for about 2, 3, maybe 5 years tops. You do have folks in TNA who have been around for a while. You have like the Ryan Nemeths, and you have the Kazarians, and you have the Steve Macklins, all those guys who do have a wealth of experience that he could feed off of. So I do believe that is beneficial for him. My one thing with Joe Hendry is just like, you've been doing like, and I understand, like you say, Downtown Brown, take the knee now to in the long run. They see like, oh, he's willing to do business. We already saw that he was willing to do business in WrestleMania. He's willing to do business on NXT as well. The only thing is, like, you already had this man lose twice. You had him lose the NXT championship match while he was TNA champion, and now you had him lose the champion. My only worry is that you're kind of dimming that light right now, and then if you do bring him on, it's like people are not going to care, because it's like, oh, well, what's supposed to be so fancy about him? He got beat in NXT, but I know that WWE main show audience is a lot different than the NXT audience, so it could work. But I'm just,
Ray, it's different when, like, right now, Joe Hendry, to quote Kendrick, you're not a gang member, you're a tourist. Like, he's a guest in the house of NXT. He's a visitor. It's different the way you treat a visitor versus the way you treat family. And if he does get signed to WWE proper, I feel like the Joe Hendry we get with the machine behind him, because right now the machine's not behind him, I think that could be a different story.
I agree. So
like, now you're one of ours, so we can treat you right.
Yeah. We'll see.
Now
We'll
we
see
can
how
give
they
you some
go.
wins.
I mean, and I think he just resigned, if I'm not mistaken. He might have resigned like a contract with them, but I'm not for certain. But hopefully when he does, yeah, hopefully. And you could build him up a little bit more in the NXT and kind of like transition him over where he could be a threat there until he does make the full jump over. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think Joe Hendry still got a bright future ahead of him. Any thoughts on Saturday night's main event or AEW before we get to showing respect to some of our servicemen and women on these fictional streets?
I got some aggressive sign language, but that's for Saturday night's main event. That's when it comes to the Truth and Cena match, because I didn't need it to be what we said it was. It didn't need to lead to Money in the Bank. It didn't need to be that. But like, wow, we not gonna just do our truth like that. Like, that's, I don't know. That was very clownish the way they did it. And just to have my man shucking and jiving out in his t-shirt with the, I hope he gets that. I hope they actually make that shirt, and I hope he gets a cut of that shirt.
I hope so too.
Because he better get something out of this. He leaving with something, because like, he left with nothing, in my opinion, right now. Like, he got some mic time, and he got a Saturday night's main. Like, this felt like watching it when he went through the Capital Punishment match with Cena. Though you knew he was not going to beat Cena back then, there was still some doubt, and there was, like, I don't know, it was compelling going up into it, even though you could think he was just the person of the month. This was like, we had some compelling nature to it, but I feel like we've just, I don't know, leading up to this this 6-man or this tag team match, whichever way it goes, with Logan Paul and Cena versus. They beat me down now. I believe it. Yeah, Cody's just gonna beat Cena for the title. I believe it, and I'm just like, that doesn't help him. That's gonna hurt Cody in the long run. And this Cena heel turn is just, what is this? I didn't need this. We could have just scrapped it at Mania.
Are you saying that John Cena, Gerard? Are you saying John Cena has ruined wrestling for you?
Nah, he's ruined his own end of his year. And that's sad because I'm a Cena fan. At the core of it, I grew up a Cena fan from the 2002 period forward. And then he lost me in the mid 2010s. And then he got me back with the US title reign to the point where I was moderately respectful with him. And then it just grew. They like he was like the uncle that, hey, I'm happy to see you back, Cena. You really do love wrestling. I see you more than Dwayne. So like, hey, it's great to see you, man. Come on through. At least you're wrestling. But now it feels like he's either playing it so safe because of the movie sets that, like, if you're going to give us your last year, maybe just cut off the side projects and the movie projects for a year. I'm sure TKO and your t-shirts and everything this year that you're making money-wise, I'm sure it's immaculate. I'm sure it's great. And you taking a year off for Hollywood probably might make people hungrier for you after you retire, because then you're fully committing a great story and wrestling, and then that's gonna vibrate out into the actual mainstream because you are a mainstream star at this point. But you're giving us a mediocre end. We had a spicy February or March. That might have been March, first of March. And then what has it been since? Dick kicks, weak matches, shallow matches with, like, I don't know, the bells and whistles. If this was it, I don't know. If you're playing it safe because of the movies, cool. If this is really what you physically all you have, I mean, I ain't gonna kick you while you're down if this is all you can too. But like, we can write it better though. We can write it better.
Yeah, right. That's my bigger thing. It's like
Sting could do that much, and like that was an amazing. So like
compare this run to Sting's run, Ray, and it's night and day. I think first of all, with Truth, I do hope Truth gets something out of this. They do need to sell those Ron Cena shirts. I'll buy one.
Yes.
But I think there was a way to do that same thing in the match where he's like mimicking Cena, but then at some point in the match, it turns serious. And I don't feel like we ever got that point in the match where it turned serious. And then by the end of the match, Truth was an afterthought because we got to build to this. In terms of Gerard's point about Cena, like, again, I'm not so much worried about the bell to bell because even in his prime, Cena was like above average in terms of bell to bell. And so now he's like 20 years older. And he's like your mom when your mom used to give you money to go to the store to get groceries, Ray. You know, she give you $14, but then a whole page full of groceries. And I'm like, it's $14 is not enough. And she'd be like, make it enough. I feel like the fans are looking at Cena like this ring work ain't enough. And Cena's like, hey, make it enough, dog. So like the bell to bell doesn't bother me as much as the storytelling. And it's not only what's on the page, because I think they haven't written them well and haven't given them enough creative to support this heel turn, Ray. But even in the acting, and we know Cena can act, man. If you've seen Peacemaker, like, you know this brother can act. But the stuff they did, like the backstage segment with Jay, that was terrible. Like, it was terrible. And so it's like, I get why people aren't enthused with not only the match from Saturday night's main event, but also this Cena heel turn in general.
I think I'm kind of on a different plane as far as what R-Truth is. Kind of what I expected out of R-Truth. And first off, how are they making the black dude the man that's coming up with all these bootleg t-shirts? First he had the ones with the Judgment Day, and now he had these with the Ron Cena etched out, or John etched out. It's like, come on now, we see what you're doing. You talking about you don't see color.
He's an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur, Ray. I support black businesses, even though I don't see color.
Support blackness, but yeah, I think this was kind of what I was expecting from him. Um, like you said, Nate, it was a point where not only did I expect our truth to turn serious, especially with his promos and talking about I'm gonna beat the respect into him, like, but you're just doing all of this man's moves. It's not like you're actually trying to fight him and trying to get him to come to his senses. And the same thing with John Cena. It's not like and this is what we kind of talked about when we were talking about on Ring Theory, when I was like, well, we all know like the turn with him and it being done in the press conference and not in the stadium or not during an actual show. But I thought we got to see John Cena like really kick it up a notch as far as like his intensity and as far as his brutality, and we still didn't get that. It's like we still didn't get, and then the whole thing with him holding up the belt and trying to make it seem as though he was coming to his senses, but then he just kicked him low anyway. It's like we're still not seeing, like, you're this big hulking dude, like you're shredded. You're still, even with at your age, you're shredded from head to toe, and yet you got to resort to a low blow. And then even if you do resort to the low blow, like take advantage of them, like beat the snot out of them, like. But we weren't really getting that. So I think I agree with Gerard. I think that, yeah, I don't know what's going on as far as if it's Cena's call where he's kind of holding back because he has these. And even when we talk about Dwayne, like, this man went out there and still like was trying to put on a show. The man tore his pectoral ahead of a shoot, like he was ahead of a film shoot or a movie shoot. And it's like he's still willing to go out there and put it all on the line, like when he's in the WWE and when he's in wrestling, like especially with that bloodline rules match. So it's just, yeah, if you're going to be half and half, then you might as well not even come back.
I think, speaking of comebacks, that may be a good transition to talk some AEW real quick, because I enjoyed the show. I think, like I said, I think it was one of AEW's best shows in a while. One of AEW's most satisfying shows in a while as a viewer. Anarchy in the Arena was off the chain as we knew it would be. And you know, Drown and Pool got them residuals. So everybody ended up happy at the end of the night. Thoughts on AEW Double or Nothing, Gerard?
For me, the show was a great show from start to finish.
Were you there live?
No.
Yeah,
God,
everywhere.
No, I was right here on this couch watching it. But it was surprised by both winners of the tournament, but
Yes.
satisfied with both matches that we got out of that and the combinations to them as well. I think Mercedes versus Tony, by the time we got to the end of that, and that's what we're going to have it all in Texas. I'll be there live for that. That'll be exciting to see. And I don't want to just write off Tony, but I feel like it's almost inevitable that now Mercedes will get that title. So now my next question is, and I'm getting into my futuristic point of, well, who takes her O? Who takes Mercedes O in AEW? Who finally like beats her and has that real big definitive defeat to her? Because maybe Mercedes has to relinquish the TBS title Warrior style after, just so that way that division can move on.
Yeah.
Since she had held it for however long, almost also the way Asuka had to leave the NXT Women's Championship to move it to the main roster. So maybe that's what they end up doing with the TBS title for Mercedes, but I don't know, because I thought she would lose it. I thought her match would be with Athena at All in Texas. So now I question, where is Athena at? And what will she be doing? And so, but outside of that, I think Swerve is crazy. I'll label that out right there. Dude, the next biggest thing is Swerve is crazy because the fact that staple was really in his tongue.
Mhm.
Nah, fam. Like the bag you must be getting from Tony must be crazy. The things you are willing to do, but
Mhm.
outside of those three big matches, that was my kind of. I think the rest of the show was great. Some matches didn't need to really be on there, but still, those that were on there all delivered, in my opinion. I don't really think
Yeah.
anything stunk out for me. But how about for you, Ray? What was your biggest takeaways from Double or Nothing?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Ron. I really, I really thought it was a very good pay per view. Um, as you were, I was pleasantly surprised by the outcomes for both Owen finals. Um, yeah, and I kind of when we were talking about it on Ring Theory, I kind of thought one thing was happening with her losing that New Japan Strong belt, but on the flip side, another thing was happening. So I was kind of taking it as, oh, this is she lost one belt, so this is
Mhm.
just pretty much the catalyst or pretty much the genesis of her beginning to lose all the rest of her belts. When in actuality, she only lost that belt to make room for the Owen. So I think I'm glad that and it was a decent match. I give it that. I think it was a decent match. I think a low key, really good match was the Mina Shirakawa and Tony Storm. Um, Shirakawa put on her working boots, even though they didn't give her like, come on now. How you gonna have bodies hit the flow, but you're not gonna have Danzo Kuduro? You're just gonna have this stock wannabe music. I'm still mad at that, but she did come out and she put on her working boots and she was really giving it to Tony. So I thought that was a decent match. After the Anarchy in the Arena, I was kind of like, all right, this gets us ready. We're about to get right into the main event. There was like, and Paragon will be taking. I was like, Lord, we got a bumper match. We got one more. Oh Lord, I forgot all about like the Paragon versus like Don Callis family. So, but that was a decent match as well. So, yeah, I thought overall it was very, very good. I know a lot of people are talking about with the Anarchy in Arena that they were expecting Eddie Kingston, as was I. Um, I thought, wow, for Mark Briscoe to just sit in his own blood for like an hour and a half and be like, yeah, I'll come out at the end. It's like it's very unsanitary. And like the ambulance from earlier was still there. Like the ambulance didn't take this man to the hospital. Like, what are y'all getting paid for, paramedics? But I thought that was a decent touch for him to come out and kind of neutralize Gabe Kidd, although a lot of people were expecting Eddie Kingston. Hook came out, but then it's just like he wanted to get a revenge on Claudio, and then he just walked out. So that was weird. But overall, I thought it was a decent match. I think because I think it was John, who during that recap of the show last night was kind of saying, well, this kind of puts into motion the fall of the Death Riders, where I think, and John Pollock, by the way, Post Wrestling, go ahead, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, right here on YouTube. I think because none of them were the ones that get pinned, I think it was the Young Bucks who pretty much ate the pins. I think the Death Riders could say, well, we were pretty much we had this company under our thumb, and if it wasn't for you, we would have won Anarchy Arena. And them saying this to the Young Bucks. It was like, you guys supposed to be the founding fathers, but you guys are just clowns, and you guys stopped us from winning or something. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Also, one more thing. Um, I think what really happens after like these anarchy that a lot of people don't really touch on is that after these anarchy in the arena matches, usually either like after 2 or 3 weeks, they start setting up for blood and guts. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in the realm of blood and guts. Do they include Hangman as a part of that? Like, do the Death Riders win that one, or like get their win back, or does Moxley end up taking the pin in that one, and then that leading up to maybe his eventual fall in which I believe is eventual and inevitable fall at All In. Well, I know we're getting into early predictions, but yeah, I think there's no way he should walk out of All In with that belt. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and I'm kind of surprised, but not really, that Darby Allin didn't roll all the way down the mountain to Arizona. So hopefully he's getting his parents. So we'll see what happens with everything. I think this pay-per-view, like you said, Nate, I think it was very, very satisfying for a change. And I think this sets up a lot between now and All In.
Yeah, I think what we've learned, ladies and gentlemen, is Ray Williams secretly is Death Riders fanboy because he keeps trying to come up with ways that this group is not ending, which is what we all want to happen, is the end of this group. So Ray, Tony Khan, and Jet Black, those are the three people in the world that still ride for the Death Riders.
You know what? Yeah. I admit, Jet Black's suit was my burner account. I apologize.
You know, this man producing the show and writing in comments at the same time, defending the Death Riders. It's a damn shame. But yeah, again,
before we move on, I got a question. Where is Swerve going at All In? Because I thought this was for sure leading us to Hangman and Swerve against the Bucks.
Yeah,
with Hangman going towards the title, are we just place changing Ospreay for that? Because I mean,
I think so.
Okay, but I mean, I don't feel like that was the story because the backstage segments were leading up to these two apologizing, making amends for them to, I feel like, have a common threat.
Right.
But I don't know. Is Swerve even going after the Bucks at All In, or is in the promotional material, or not promotional material, but in the promotional lead up, it was him and Bobby always facing off at those media things at Globe Life Stadium. Do we run that back?
Oh, Bobby and Swerve? I mean, it'll be hard, especially, well, considering that Hurt Business, or Hurt Syndicate rather, have the tag titles, it'll be hard to kind of envision Bobby Lashley not defending the tag titles unless they end up losing them somehow. I'm not sure. I was thinking unless they actually make this whole continental / international championship like reunion, or not reunion, but merging, as far as having Okada versus Omega. Like I could see Omega and Swerve against the Young Bucks, since those were the ones that really took the Bucks out.
Yeah.
Well, no. Do you think? Well, are you excluding Omega out of the Okada match now?
That's what I'm saying. If it happens, since they haven't been really hinting to it right now. I mean, I know that's the point where everyone wants to go, is have that unification match, especially with them and their history. I'm just saying, if it doesn't happen, then I could see Omega being in that role, in the role of Hangman. That's the tag.
They do have the Fatal 4-Way coming up, so Omega could lose that belt without having to lose it. So, and they're determining those challengers coming up for that. So that is a possibility. That we could have just been, they could have been a Swerve the whole time, pun intended. So
yeah, there's a lot of different ways they could go. I was surprised that Swerve, not Swerve, but Hangman won, and I was surprised Mercedes won, because honestly, to me, I would still hold off on that match. I think even though it's July, so we're a couple months out, I still think that's way too soon. I'd keep building the breadcrumbs, building out the seeds. But yeah, for Swerve, it feels like he's been put back in line. Like he's still one of the most over people in this company, but he's kind of stuck right now. There's not a lot of chairs for him to sit at this table, and so he just kind of got to wait his turn. Maybe it happens once Hangman gets the belt off of Mox.
Right.
God
Maybe
will.
we'll go back to our after school special with Swerve and Hangman.
But and maybe I'm misquoting something, but I swear Tony stated at a certain point that Blood and Guts might be moving to pay-per-view at a certain point. And so, especially since they're running those smaller arenas and whatnot, and these theaters and these unique venues that probably cannot fit Blood and Guts, I could see Blood and Guts being at All Out at the Scotiabank Arena. It can fit it.
Yeah.
So I could easily see them delaying it until All Out. Now, who's in the match? I don't know. And what's the match over? I don't know at that stake. It could be the remaining end of the Death Riders, but without the title, led by Darby going in. Because, I mean, Darby can finally put John to sleep in Toronto and then move forward, trying to go after a belt through some means. But no, I think arena-wise, I don't think they would do it at Forbidden Door. I don't think they would try to smash it in between now and All In. At least I don't think they would, because they have the residency coming up. So, I mean, unless they think they can do it at the place in Chicago, I don't think so. So, I mean, do you all think All Out would be the spot for that to delay it? And do you think do you think that's like worth it, or should we just delay Blood and Guts until another year? Because I felt it in the past. Every year we don't need both. A feud doesn't need both matches. So
no. Especially if that means we have to wait until September for the end of the Death Riders. I'm not here for that.
Okay. The Death Riders can keep going. They just don't need the world title.
No, they can't. I'm scorched earth on the Death Riders, Gerard. All of them. Just split up like the Fat Boys. First the Fat Boys break up, and every day I wake up, Ray, somebody got a problem with Mox, okay? just go your separate ways. You know what I'm saying? Just do the backstage segment like the Metaphor did a couple months ago. Just like, it's over, guys. It's over.
Yeah, I mean,
Cold turkey after. Okay,
set Wheeler, Utah free.
Well, only thing is how, because I know since they started having All In, All Out has been like traditionally a couple or a few weeks after. How much longer or how much further out is All Out from All In?
September 20th. And I was going to go, but then I realized my homeboy's wedding that I'm in is on the same day. So gladly,
I don't think you can do that.
Thank the Lord, I ain't bought no tickets. So, or else I'd just be losing them tickets. But no, September 20th. So yeah, you got a little break in there. You got Forbidden Door between there too.
Yep.
I think they're taking the feedback from the previous years of how everything was so stacked on top of each other. Because my first AEW show was me. I bought my first tickets for the Blood or Guts that they were going to have in Detroit, and then they had announced right after Forbidden Door, and so that was a week after, like a week before. So literally that Sunday I went to the show, and that Wednesday was Blood and Guts for me. Back when they first did the first Forbidden Door, and so that's how quick that turnaround was.
Yeah.
And that was not too far off from Double or Nothing, because they lost Punk right before that, because it was supposed to be Punk and Tanahashi going into that. So they've learned from those previous years, and I think they're trying to now just give everything some room to breathe and build into everything. So that's to me why if you push Blood and Guts out to just either something else or All Out, you give everything else this time to breathe. I mean, look at Double or Nothing. We got those two Owen matches had some time to breathe and build that story with just those two solidified finalists in both matches. And so, like, I think they're just trying to evolve. And I think, and that's when I reflected back on the whole company as a complete. I was going through my ups and downs because of the Swerve loss, but I really think, AEW is going they're building. It's quiet building, it's slow building, and there's been adjustments and listening to the audience. I just hope they listen in Texas. I need that the most because I'm an IG live myself walking out that boy if it's not. Y'all get it live in living color because I would not be happy about that. But in Hangman, I trust right now. I've always felt some type of way about the Hangman name, but in Hangman, I trust no matter what.
Y'all get ready for the Gerard Brown crash out.
Hey, it's coming.
When Moxley walks out of that building with the damn belt that he doesn't wear.
No, because Moxley's gonna walk out somehow, beat Hangman, and then it's gonna be up to Ospreay in London to try to stop him, and then somehow he'll get past Ospreay in London, and then it will be Darby. That's what it's going to be. If he loses, if Hangman loses in Texas, that's the path.
Yep. Which is what I predicted from the beginning, that Darby was going to be the one to end this, and so I hope I'm wrong though.
We gonna see Will's kid cry in the front row.
But a little while ago, we mentioned John Cena, fellas. John Cena, pro wrestler, humanitarian, actor, man that's ruining wrestling as we speak. One of his most famous theatrical roles, Ray, was the Marine. Okay.
Yes.
And since it is Memorial Day, tip of the cap to all who have served. All gave some, but some gave all, and that's what Memorial Day is for, to remember those who have lost their lives in service to this great country. So we wanted to honor some fictional servicemen and women. So we're going to go around the horn. Everybody gets 3 people. You get 3 folks on your team. So we're going to do a draft, a conscription, if you will, Ray, of our favorite fictional servicemen and servicewomen. Do you want to do all 3 at once, Ray, or do you want to go like round by round? How should we do this? What's the best way to do it for the audience?
I think if we're gonna do a draft style, I think we could do, and especially like, are we only each like, if we pick somebody, they're off the board?
Yes, they're off the board.
All right. I think it would work better if we do one by one around the horn.
Okay. All right. So let's we did an unofficial coin flip behind the scenes. And the first pick goes to Gerard. Second pick goes to Ray. Third pick goes to me. And we'll do that for all 3 rounds. So Gerard Brown, in the history of film, in the history of television, in the history of comic books, in the history of manga, in the history of anime, in the history of everything. Who is your first pick for your favorite fictional serviceman or servicewoman?
How familiar are people with Dragon Ball Z here? How familiar is the table with? Because I need to have a question,
right?
Because do we count like Vegeta as like a? He's in the Saiyan army.
Yes.
Are we counting that as like a serviceman?
Does it have to be strictly United States Army or Marines or Air Force, Ray?
I think it has to be an actual like human army, brother Gerard.
Okay. So an actual member of the U.S., since it is Memorial Day, the U.S. military in fiction, those will be the parameters. So that way Ray can't cheat.
Even if you want to do,
that's all.
Yeah. Even if you want to do guys from other like countries, that's fine. But we'll
take an answer from other countries, but America first, as they say.
No, I'll stick right here. Eric Stevens.
America first.
That's all you need.
Who you going with? Eric Stevens?
Eric Stevens.
That's Black American operative named Killmonger.
You saying anime threw me off and made my brain go, oh, there's so many more people I could be picking from. But no, I was going with Eric Stevens to begin with.
That's a good one. Killmonger. What do you think about that, Ray?
That's a good choice. I could dig it.
You can dig it?
I mean, I'm surprised this is first, but
I mean that's a good choice though. That's a strong choice. Non-traditional service member. Ray Williams, who's your number 1 pick?
Oh, well, although I really want to go with like the first person that came to my head, but it is also the first person who you kind of brought up within our group chat, Nate. So I think I'm gonna hold that person off for you. I won't be dirty and steal your pick like that. So one person that immediately, once I got off of that particular pick, I was like, who comes to mind when I think of like the first time I've seen like military service members like in fictional work? And this brother not only ticks off the box when it comes to professional wrestling, but also ticks off the box when it comes to animated series. So I'm gonna go with one Sergeant Slaughter.
Ooh,
very good pick. We not going to count the parts where he was an Iraqi sympathizer. We're gonna cut that one out of the canon. But everything else we're gonna keep included.
Sergeant's a great pick because not only was he Sergeant Slaughter in pro wrestling, he was in G.I. Joe. And the fact that makes this the beautiful pick, Ray Williams, is there are still some people who believe Sarge actually served. That man never served a day in his life. A day in his life in the military. He is one of the greatest fictional soldiers ever.
He played the role that well. They thought he was in the military.
I'm not mad at that pick. I'm not mad at that pick at all, Ray. That's a great pick. Ray, I think you alluded to it though. You know, war is hell, man. You know, it's a lot of lost lives, it's a lot of collateral damage, but there's one man out here that was his business, Ray. The man said himself, killing is my business, ladies, and business is good. I'm talking about Major Benson Winifred Payne, aka Major Payne from the great classic Damon Wayans with Major Payne. Come on now. We talk about a man that was one of the most deadly operatives that the military has ever seen. He took out all of America's enemies, and they were like, well, what's next for Major Payne? I know. Let's have him teach these kids. And you get Major Payne teaching his ragtag group of young military students at the military academy, and he falls in love with Karen Parsons. I'm not blaming the brother. You know, we all just flesh and blood. You know, so many great scenes in Major Payne when they at the club, and Major Payne's like, I've been known to cut a little rug. To the sounds of Pop That Coochie by Uncle Luke and the Two Live Crew. Another one of my favorite scenes in Major Payne when I forget the guy's name, but he's like the bad boy of the students, Ray, and he's a young white boy and a young traditional soldier, if you will. And he's getting all in Major Payne's face, and he's agitating him. And Major Payne is like, "You want to fight me, boy? You want to fight me? I am 2 seconds away from being on you like white on rice and a paper plate and a glass of milk in the middle of a snowstorm. The water on my knee will quench your thirst." Like Damon Wayans did such a good job in that movie. Like again, Ray, like I think a lot of people may know, but for those that don't, my father served in the Navy for 25 years. So I grew up for most of my teenage years either on military bases or in cities like Newport News that are big military towns. And so this movie was like surprisingly a favorite film for people that went in junior ROTC or people who's, were military dependents and their dads and their moms were in the military. Like Major Payne was this random ass movie that we all kind of connected with and vibed with. So yeah, my top pick, because not only is he a good soldier, Ray, but he can lead my team, is Major Benson Winifred Payne.
I love that. I love that pick.
Yes, very good pick.
Have you actually seen that movie, Ray? I know it's, sometimes you don't watch movies.
No, that was one of the movies that we had on VHS that I would watch over and over and over again.
You just rewind that one Bam Bam Bigelow scene. I'm going to take this leg right here and put it up against your chin right there. Like you said you was going to kick me in the face. Oh, I'm sorry. I did, didn't I? And then he kicks him in the face. That's a great movie, man. Major Payne. One tubby.
Two tubby.
There's probably some stuff that you couldn't get away with nowadays, but yeah, I always like Major Payne.
Not at all.
No, not at all. Like, well, hello, Betty. Like that's a whole lawsuit. Yeah, Major Payne. You got this young boy in your bed, even though they tried to trick you and get you booted out of the service. Like that wouldn't have gone well for Major Payne if it went to the courts.
That movie was hilarious and gave me life when I was in boot camp. My mom sent me to boot camp at 14 for not washing the dishes and taking them bad kid boot camp. Sent to that.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the one thing of hope that we got was Major Payne. Me and my god brother was sitting there laughing the whole time. 8 weeks. I turned 15 at that boot camp. But I was rolling off of that movie. So I can agree with that commonality of the shared experience because of that movie.
Yep. And shout out to my boy, Orlando. Is it Orlando Robinson?
Oh no, Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown, that plays Tiger in the movie. Obviously, he's had some ups and downs in his personal life, but he was really good as a little kid in that movie.
He was. He was a very good child actor, which is just crazy to see, just the path he's been on and just stuff that's been going on with his life. Hopefully he gets it together. But he was very talented.
I agree.
Gerard Brown, number 2 draft pick for you. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with John Clark.
Ooh.
I'm just going. Do people know who? Without me explaining it, do people know who John Clark is off rip? I'm testing the waters right now to see. I might be learning that Ray Williams does not watch movies all the time, so he might not have seen this movie.
I'm trying to think. Is it Denzel, right?
Oh nah.
No.
Once again, I got Killmonger over here.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and load up Michael B. Jordan Part 2 without remorse. His Amazon Prime movie. He was a military soldier that they killed his wife, and so he said, "Okay, bet I got to get my revenge." And this man was going through hell and high water.
Think Jack Reacher, but Black Reacher.
Yeah,
I
actually have seen that movie. Especially.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I have. It's the scene he's in the prison or he's in the actual prison cell and he fights his way out, right? Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's my movie. Yeah. So.
Michael B. Jordan, low key, that's kind of one of his many genres, but he's you can buy Michael B. Jordan as either current military or ex-military.
I agree. So yeah, that's gonna be my second draft pick. I'm just going. Who knows if I have a third Michael B. Jordan?
I was gonna say, does Michael B. Jordan have another one?
Hey, wait till round 3 to find it. But Ray, who you got cooking up for round 2, man?
All right. Well, I've been trying to think about this because I had number 1 locked and loaded in the chamber. Number 2 is kind of a little harder to think of.
Go ahead and say The Miz.
None of the portrayals of Marines in Marine 1 through 6.
They made 6 of those. That's insane.
It's
Did any of them make money past the first one?
I don't think not in the box office. I'm sure they had that direct to DVD money when it was going down, or that rental money.
Who were all the Marines? So we had Cena, we had Miz. Did we have another?
Orton.
No,
okay,
so
Orton got moved to round. He's in round 2, part 2,
Oh,
because they didn't want him to be in the Marine. He was going to be Marine after him, but then when they found out that his past record, his AWOL period,
right,
they bounced it over to Ted DiBiase for that one random.
Oh yes,
and it was The Miz.
Yes. Ted DiBiase Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, that's random.
Never forget Ted DiBiase and his crooked daddy scammed all those poor people in Mississippi. Never forget.
Along with
that
Brett
shows you the machine right there that he has that movie.
Ted DiBiase. Out of anybody you could have picked on the damn roster.
Yeah, but
they just look right past Titus O'Neil like, nah, this ain't for you, dog.
Exactly. It's so many different picks I could think of. Oh, you know what? It just hit me.
Okay, go ahead.
So I could go with pretty much any role that Arnold Schwarzenegger's been in. I could go with like a bunch of other people, but I think one person that really just hit me. Again, I apologize. He's traditional and it's a male, but I think he's very iconic,
Okay.
and that would be one John Rambo.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think
Ooh.
I think it just hit me. I was like, how are we gonna have service members and not put Rambo up in there?
Okay.
And I think with Rambo, it's like he shows multiple sides of war. Like he shows like he could be that killing machine, but he also shows like, especially within like the multitude of the movies, that war does something to your psyche. And so
Mm.
I think that it would be a tremendous pick, especially to have Rambo on there. So
That's I'm not mad at it, Ray. That's a classic right there. I thought when you were talking about Schwarzenegger, I thought you were gonna go with Dutch from Predator.
I was
Oh, man.
literally thinking like, Dylan, you son of, like, I was
Yep.
thinking of it,
The
but I
most
was
manly
like,
handshake ever.
Yep.
but the thing is, it's like you had Dutch, but then you also had him in Commando, and then it's like he's
Yeah.
had like multiple. And then I was thinking, well, maybe something with Michael Jai White, but it's like he's had multiple. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Rambo just
John
stood out,
Rambo.
like just flashed ahead of me.
Did you watch the last one they did?
I did.
It wasn't
Yeah.
bad. It was surprised me actually.
It was pretty
Okay.
good, but then of course it got hokey towards the end, and then when he just opens up the dude's chest with his bare hands and rips his heart out, like I was like, this is this is like Mortal Kombat type stuff, right?
He got that old man strength, right?
Yeah, like right through his rib cage. It's like, I think it's more. I think it's a little bit more intense than that, but I guess.
Okay, so Ray went with John Rambo in his second round. I'm actually glad Ray didn't go with this. I thought Ray might be leaning on this pick, and this is somebody who, realistically, he probably would have been my first choice if Ray hadn't led me to Major Benson Winifred Payne with the first pick. So I'm glad this brother's still around for pick number 2. Y'all know, if y'all have heard me talk about any of these, particularly last year or so, any of these movies, y'all know one of my favorite servicemen in the game right now. Ladies and gentlemen, he is somebody who is always fighting on the right side of history. He is somebody who has always got a good conscience, a good moral compass, if you will, Ray Williams. He is somebody who you can just call Captain America.
Oh,
Sam Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, is my number 2 pick off the board. Anthony Mackie has always done the damn thing with the character of Sam, but particularly like Brave New World was what it was, man. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say it was the greatest movie ever, but I enjoyed his portrayal of Sam in that movie. But more than that, if you look at the TV show on Disney Plus, Falcon the Winter Soldier with him and Sebastian Stan, like I thought they did a good job of going into Sam's backstory, his community in Louisiana, the reason why he joined the military, why he does the things that he does. And yeah, man, despite what some of them people online will tell you, man, Sam Wilson is my Captain America. He's our Captain America. Let's hear it for Captain America. And if you want to hear more about Sam Wilson, Captain America, there's a retrospective available right now on the Nefarious Media Network. So yeah, Sam Wilson, that's my number 2 pick, Gerard.
As he sues the new Avengers.
Yes. He's a very litigious soldier.
Gotta love it. He knows his litigation as well as his way around some arms. So.
Spoilers for this movie that Marvel spoiled themselves 72 hours after it came out, Ray. By the way, they did New Avengers, everybody. I don't know if you heard.
I know about New Avengers. I didn't know he was suing folks out here. Come on, man.
I mean, you should have seen the movie, Ray. You should have seen the movie.
I would say, I'm sorry. I thought we was all on one accord at this point.
Ray is like, I don't even watch old movies. You expect me to watch new movies? I can't be doing all that. Too much.
Well,
Gerard, 3rd round pick, final pick in our first ever Memorial Day, and we'll probably do it again for Veterans Day. Service member draft. Who you got?
Well, we are around the horn again, and I promise you, Smoke will be my 3rd serviceman. A former a soldier who fought in World War I, came home with his money and his twin to open up a juke joint. With the protection of what his wife had on his chest, my man was dodging bullets, dodging people, and dodging anything. It was only after he took that off that he took a bullet, only so he could be with his wife and kids. So a good father who tried to, the man came back to his family. My serviceman, Smoke.
Damn, he did it, ladies
From
and gentlemen.
Sinners.
I didn't think he was going to be able to do it.
Another Michael B. Jordan pull.
I didn't think he was going to be able to do it, but he did it, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's a relevant one because that's this year.
He had Killmonger, No Remorse, or Without Remorse, and Sinners. He did it. He completed the trifecta, Ray.
They put Vegeta fire look onto his Killmonger outfit, so I get my anime feet with that one. I get the straight military with that, and then I get I just get the fun one with the Sinners with it. So I could have picked the vampire. I could have picked the brother. Military soldier turned vampire. I got 4 of them right now on you. I might find a 5th. Who knows? Nah, Ray, how about you, man?
Last pick, Ray.
Who you build it up to?
I'm racking my brain. Like I'm trying to find a DEI pick now that I went all traditional in the first 2.
You did go traditional for the first 2, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Sergeant Slaughter and John Rambo. This is a very traditional armed forces branch you got, Ray.
I know. We in our branch we did erase Jackie Robinson in our branch. I apologize.
I mean, technically, that's does Jackie Robinson count though? No, I don't think Jackie Robinson counts in this.
Well,
he actually
fictional, right?
Yeah. Like, even though Chadwick played him in the movie, like Jackie Robinson actually serves. I don't think Jackie counts. I don't think Antoine Fisher counts.
Oh yeah, and I was thinking of the Navy SEAL that Cuba Gooding
Men of Honor with Cuba Gooding Jr.
I was thinking of him too. But I was like, oh, he's a real.
Cuba had a little kick playing black military members because he was in that, and then he was in Pearl Harbor, wasn't he?
Pearl Harbor, yeah, I think so.
He was playing like the Dory Miller, the ship cook turned like gunner.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think was that a Ben Affleck joint? Like when Ben Affleck was hot?
Yeah,
he was definitely in a movie, but I've never seen that movie. Yeah.
He was trying to like Ben Affleck was trying to go for some serious roles. He's like, I need a serious movie.
Yeah, let me get the Jerry Bruckheimer produced.
Right,
everything blows up.
I want Saving Private Ryan meets Bad Boys. Make it happen, Jerry.
But you know what? Something did just come to mind, and this might be a controversial pick. I think I'm gonna go with, and I don't know the character's name, but I'm gonna go with Lorenz Tate's character from Dead Presidents.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with him because I think he just showed like, hey, like this again, similar to John Rambo when he shows like the kind of like the effects of war on your psyche and how that affects you. And then also like once you come home and then it's like not much really for you to do once you get home, and it's like he's trying to get work and honest and earn an honest living, but it's like people aren't trying to let him like get acclimated and get back into having an honest living outside of what he had to endure in Vietnam. So I think I'm gonna go with that character from Dead Presidents.
Anthony Curtis.
Anthony Curtis.
And I just looked it up, so I'm not even gonna hold you like I knew that off the top of my head. Now you gonna hold you.
And that fulfills my affirmative action pick for my draft.
Get out. I was with you on the whole reason behind it, but when you throw that little last little nugget on it, that ain't it.
I'm joking.
I'm checking off boxes.
I was about to say that was a sad movie to watch as a kid. 'Cause everybody
Yeah, it
hyped that
was.
up like it was like, oh yeah, you should watch Friday. You should watch this. You should watch Dead Presidents. I'm like, I
Mm,
saw Friday, Smokey,
mhm.
and I see Chris Tucker in this. I'm like, oh, he about to be hilarious. Oh, this is
Nope.
not that. This is
Oh,
not
yeah,
the Chris
yeah.
Tucker movie for that. Oh no, why is he
Now-
shaking like that? Why is he sweating like
Mhm.
that? Oh
Now,
no.
of course, real quick, of course, we got some folks in the chat with their not predictions, but their picks. And of course,
Okay.
you know, good old Brandon from New Jersey had to chime in. He said, "What about Denzel in
Oh,
Glory?" I don't know
Yes.
about Civil
Mm.
War era.
I
folks.
mean, technically, they was in the regiment, Ray.
Yeah.
Was he portraying a true person, like an actual person, or was that a fictional person?
I don't. Yeah, that's the question. I don't know if that character was a real person or just kind of like this is something that these soldiers would have gone through.
Right.
But
Let
yeah,
us know,
Denzel
Brandon.
acted his ass off on that one with that
Oh,
that
yeah.
single
Mhm.
tear.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a good movie, man. That was a good movie. That was good job, Brandon from New Jersey. Shout out to our brother Brandon, man. Don't forget, we talked about John Moxley earlier. If you are a fan of John Moxley, Death Riders aside, check out Eagles Don't Hunt Flies, an excellent podcast with our good brother Dickie Bird, the main man Martin Bushby, and the third most popular host, Brandon from New Jersey. We salute you for your work, brother. Thank you for your service.
All right, stop stalling, Nate. What's your last pick, brother?
Okay, see, first of all, Ray, you know, you about to get an angry tweet from one Booker T for not putting G.I. Bro on the list.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to go with your boy Pitbull,
Sergeant Craig Pittman. Oh yeah, there was some great honorable mention like Craig Pittman, Ranger Ross, the master of the super kick. Y'all don't know about this man, Ranger Ross, an Air Force paratrooper who somehow was the master of the super kick back in 1988. I don't know how he got that title. He won the war single-handedly, one kick at a time. But you know what, Ray, you're right. We do need to have diversity in our armed forces. So I've got two men of color, two non-traditional soldiers already. I figure it's time that we have a woman. Nobody's named a woman, man. So, you know, shout out to G.I. Jane on these streets. You know, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. But I'm not going with G.I. Jane, you know. I'm going with another tall glass of milk that Ray Williams might like.
Oh, here we go.
It's a lady that gets a lot of hate on these streets, Gerard. But every time they try to put it down, you know what she do, Gerard? She goes higher. She goes further. She goes faster. My third pick in the Armed Forces draft, none other than Captain Marvel herself, Carol Danvers in the building.
Oh,
not only is she a
Monica
soldier,
Rambeau walks away, head down.
She's flying these jet planes. Well, I went non-traditional my first two picks. I kind of felt like I had to go traditional for the last one. But not only can Carol fly these jet planes, but she also got superpowers, Ray. So she's like a super duper soldier, man. So I got Sam Wilson. I got Carol Danvers, and of course, leading the team, Major Benson Winifred Payne.
That would be a very intriguing regimen to be a fly on the wall.
I could have gone all Marvel if I had kicked out Major Payne because Nick Fury served too. So I could have gone Nick Fury, Sam Wilson, and Carol Danvers, but now Major Payne is the one to lead this team.
Well, Jay Lacey said, "Glad you didn't go with Lacey Evans."
Oh no!
Let's give an honorable mention to Lacey Evans on these streets, man. She's a sassy Southern belle who's also a Marine who also has addiction problems in her family, and we don't know what to do with this character, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, addiction problems, but she's a single mom, and then
she's a single mom. She's trying to get people to stop being addicts, but she's being a jerk about it. So is she a baby face or not? I don't know. And then she was gone.
She also mentioned something about her brother committing suicide or something like that too.
I think it was something tragic like that, but it was like all in the guise of her also being a heel and telling the audience that she's better than them. So it's like it didn't kind of work. Like, am I supposed to be feeling sorry for this lady that's yelling at us? Maybe she was like Sly Stallone. She was doing her own tribute to the trauma, you know, that some of us servicemen and women go through. You know, Lacey was on a whole nother level. We just didn't see it at the time, Ray.
Right.
So those are our picks for our servicemen and women. If y'all have any picks, throw them in the chat, or you can email them to us if you're listening to this in the future. If we missed anybody that you think should have been on the list. Let's stay in this land of fiction, though, Ray, because you brought up an interesting topic a couple of weeks ago. Songs in fictional films or movies, Ray, but not just on the soundtrack. That's not what you were asking about. So let the people know what you brought to the table, what you wanted to contribute this week. That I think is a really good question.
Yeah, so I thought, and this is just my internal monologue, always racing about what is my question for feeding the ducks gonna be on a daily basis. I was like, let me start writing these things down. And one question that came to mind, as I was watching clips from the show Martin, very underrated show, doesn't get the love that it truly deserves, should be considered one of the best, if not the best, sitcoms ever made, in my opinion. But I stumbled upon this clip that I used to watch, again, going back to my video renting and DVD renting days when I would read like the whole first season of Martin. One particular song came to mind, and it was when Marty Payne had to, I think, Junior, who ran, or not Junior, but Stan, who ran. Yeah. I'm thinking of Garrett Morris. He has so many great characters.
He used Junior on Jamie Foxx.
But Stan, who used to run the radio station that Martin worked at as a DJ, he ends up leaving the radio station and doing his own thing. And so then the radio station, WZUP, ends up getting picked up by this country music conglomerate, and ends up turning it into a country music station. And so to get into the part, Marty Marr turns into a country music singer, and his beloved hit was "Love You From Behind." If you haven't heard it, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It'd be one of the funniest things that you've seen that's like a minute and a half long.
If I can't love you from the front, I love you from behind. Like, whoa. Like, we didn't catch on to that when we was kids, right?
Exactly. And so I thought,
what else is there to catch on from?
Right.
You know, hey, I was an innocent, pure young person back in them days, Gerard. I didn't know. I didn't know about the back door when I was that age. And so I thought he was like, hey, if I can't love you face to face, I can love you when you're walking away. I didn't know what he really meant was I'm gonna be up in them cheeks. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Neither did I, but I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was
innocence must have been special.
Yeah. So it hit me. What are some good songs? It could be good songs, it could be funny songs or humorous songs. But what are some songs that come to mind from movies, from TV, that are sung by fictional artists? And I'm trying to keep it to fictional artists. We're not going to go into musicals. We're not going to go into Wicked and all this stuff, but actual, or not actual, but fictional musicians within the space of a film. And yeah, again, it's not going to be based off, like, of course you can pick anything from Dreamgirls, but we're talking about movies that weren't specifically based in music, but have like one artist in it, or one artist in it that had a song.
So first of all, shout out to that episode of Martin. That is one of my favorite early episodes of Martin, because at the end, spoiler alert, Martin goes through all this trouble to become a country music DJ. And at the end of the day, the owner's like, well, hell, boy, I didn't want you to become a country singer. I wanted you to make this country thing more urban. And he fires Martin. And that's a lesson in life. We can't get nowhere if you're non-traditional. Sometimes, even if you play the game still wins at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a great question, Ray, because there's so many ways we could go with this. Like, immediately my first thought when he brought this question up, Gerard, was a movie that low-key, I ain't even gonna say low-key no more. I'm gonna say it with my whole chest. I love this movie. It is one of the most subversive movies of its time. It's dumb, it's silly, but it's also really clever. And it's got a killer soundtrack. Ray Williams, we talking about Josie and the Pussycats in the building.
Oh, of course.
Okay,
Josie and the Pussycats. Shout out to Rosario Dawson and them. But not only like all the Pussycat songs are fire. Pretend to Be Nice is a banger. You know what I'm saying? Why do you do what you do to me, baby? Taking my confidence, making me crazy. Why can't you pretend to be nice? Because then everything would be all right. They got another one where it's like Three Small Words. Ray Williams talking about falling in love for the first time. That's a good one. But honestly, since I'm a guy and we all have internalized misogyny, ladies and gentlemen, we just need to recognize it and adjust our behavior. My favorite group off of Josie and the Pussycats was De Jour, the boy band starring Donald Faison and Breckin Meyer and Seth Green, because they had a couple hits. They had Around the World with De Jour, Get on Your Motorbike with De Jour, We Going on a Trip with De Jour, Banging Around the World, You Wish You Could Be Friends with De Jour. So they already let you know what time it was when De Jour came to town. But then they had a second song, Gerard, which goes back to, you maybe being a little bit more worldly than me and Ray when we was kids. They got a song called Backdoor Lover.
Oh.
And it is off the chain. It is exactly what you think it is about. It is exactly how you think it would be sung. Backdoor Lover, open up the gate and I sneak in behind. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song about love, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, the first group that comes to mind for me, Gerard, is that whole Josie and the Damn Pussycats movie. That was a fun movie. I think it's an underrated movie, and it's certainly not a movie that a lot of traditional folks or non-traditional folks talk about. But yeah, man, it's a good time.
Back in my non-cable days, Josie and the Pussycats definitely appeared on a Saturday UPN movie feature, so I was able to partake of the movie during that time period. So yeah, I have seen the movie and it is a good pick. For me, my heart, my head instantly when I hear this question goes one place and one place only, and we have to thank one man and one man only. I have to thank Thomas Washington, that when he sat by that door on that fateful day and was able to be called into the Disney boardroom and get the opportunity to make the blackest Disney movie ever. I'm talking about a Goofy movie, and I'm talking about we just gonna transplant Tevin Campbell into Powerline. You got Stand Out. Come on, Stand Out above the crowd.
Hey.
Come on, I don't even need before we get cut. Not see so, but there, Eye to Eye. Come on now.
Yes.
What a film. What a powerful. And an artist basically transplanting Michael Jackson into cartoon form with Tevin Campbell's voice. There you go. Because Powerline.
Do you know the history about Powerline, Gerard?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But
originally, Powerline was supposed to be Bobby Brown. He was originally who Disney had picked to be Powerline, but because y'all know how Bobby Brown get down, he ain't exactly a family-friendly artist, especially not back in those days. So they kicked Bobby off the project and brought in Tevin.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that from one of the documentaries I was seeing, because it was a more of a soundtrack-focused documentary around Tevin and what he was doing, and then bringing him in. But yes, I do remember the design actually being done off of kind of slightly Bobby Brown from that time period.
With the fade.
Nah, I love that. That's my guy, Powerline. So that's the man, and that's my pick.
Oh, that would have been a whole different movie though with Bobby. It's like, this just in, Powerline has been arrested again.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know how well we would look back at the songs, do the things. Maybe by now things would have recovered, because I think by now we good with stuff. There would be that dark history.
Yes.
That where we'd have to talk over it. But nah, I love Tevin Campbell. I'm a Tevin Campbell fan. I'm a '90s R&B fan just through and through. So to have that and to have that be a Disney film about a dad taking his son on a trip. I'm not trying to go any deeper into that, but like that whole movie has just great music and great themes to it, and to have that powerful artist, hey, I'm with it. So, but Ray, who you rocking
pick.
with? Who have you circled back to in this whole? Since this is your question, what are you circling back to?
Well, as we like to say on here, I asked it. I'm gonna answer it. Very good pick, by the way, Gerard. Very good pick. And I think that was kind of like an impetus as well as far as me thinking of this question, because I think somebody actually this was kind of like a trend on TikTok or something like that. So it was kind of sitting subconsciously in my brain until I was able to kind of put words to it. Like if I'm thinking like serious actual songs, I don't know if you guys, and this is very, very traditional, very niche traditional. I don't know if you guys heard of the movie Once. But it's pretty much a movie about, and I know it's traditional, but it's not a traditional musical. So it's like actual artists playing musicians on like busking around the streets of Ireland, I believe.
Okay.
And so it's this one song called When Your Mind's Made Up. Beautiful song, like one of my favorite songs. So if I was going with a serious, so yeah, it's and I don't know if you ever heard of this song, Falling Slowly, blah 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 blah. Again, very traditional.
You lost us on that one, Ray.
Yeah, Falling Slowly was
you lost me.
It was about 10
It's the
years ago.
for me.
Yeah. Falling Slow. It was nominated for Oscar for best song. About 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. But that's not my favorite song from that movie. My favorite song is When Your Mind's Made Up. So that's a beautiful song. But if we're going and I'm gonna cheat and go in like a funny route. So it's like my serious song and then some funny song. So like we could think of several ones from Martin alone. Like of course you had Love You From Behind.
Yeah.
Then you also had Pick Up the Pieces, a beautiful rendition.
Man, pieces. Shout out to Tracy Morgan.
Shout out. And then I also mentioned this to Nate during our chat in the group chat. I could think of several songs from Half Baked. Include from the rap artist. I forgot what the rap artist's name was.
Sir Smokes a Lot. Because of course.
Yeah. When times are hard, you pick up that card with the smiley face.
The funniest part about that, and again, Half Baked is a great movie. Like literally, it's the dumbest movie in the world, but it's a great movie. It still holds up, even if you're not under the influence. But when we get I need to talk to Samson, and he like rubs the lamp, and like some fake I Dream a Genie lady pops out. She's like, "What do you wish, master?" And he's like, "Bitch, you know what I want? I need to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon like that chick Alice Crandon, because it's hard being black and gifted. Sometimes you just want to throw it all down there and get lifted." I'm like, this man is a genius. Bars. It is hard being black and gifted, Ray.
It is. But the one that I'll go to and kind of circling back and kind of making this full circle, there was a downtrodden aspiring artist who had to resort to becoming a mechanic. And so I'm gonna go with Don't You Know No Good.
Excellent.
Because it's only one line during the whole song, but he sings it with so much passion.
Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good?
And then when he gets the backup singers, when Gina
Yes.
and Pam, oh, it puts it all together. So
And he's just holding out the note and they're like gagging for air. Like, don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? And they just like, come on, man. That's a great pick. That's a great pick, Ray.
Thank
You gonna make me go back and rewatch Martin all the way through, because
Oh.
that's one thing I've never done is start to finish watch Martin. I'm just going off of my old childhood memory of watching it on TV and when it's popped up on cable. But no, I that's one flew over my head for me. So
I think Ray's right. Like Martin is real underrated, man. Like we all loved it, but I think Martin is real underrated, particularly. And this is not to throw shade at like a show like Friends or Seinfeld, which are kind of around the same time frame as Martin. But it's like, yeah, like if you really sit down and watch what Martin Lawrence and that whole team was doing, like, yeah, that brother was cooking in terms of what a sitcom could be.
Yeah. And I actually want to thank you, Gerard, because you kind of opened up these memories when you brought up like favorite lines that you just be saying from movies. And it was like, man, I could do a whole thing on Martin by itself that I just be saying to myself when we saying out loud.
Go King Beef, go King Beef, go King Beef.
I always tell my brothers, it was like, you ain't got no job, man.
Whitty Hutton, who is Whitty Hutton, brother man? That brother man can't spell.
Dreams are repressed desires of things we wish we could have.
Yeah, Martin was excellent, man. A real quick, Ray, before we move on to what we got to do every time we sit up for the parlay. I will give an honorable mention because this is something that always happened in TV shows back in the days, but never once has it happened in my real life, Gerard, where a spontaneous song and dance number breaks out at a party or at a function. Yeah. And there was one in particular that always sticks me to this day, Ray, because it was instructional as well as entertaining. Because if you want to do the Steve Urkel dance, all you got to do is hitch up your pants, bend your knees, and stick out your pelvis. I'm telling you, brother, it's better than Elvis. Do it. Do it. Everybody to the Urkel. How do all them people know the choreography, Ray? I have never been in a place, Gerard, where spontaneous choreography broke out and everybody knew all the steps. Even the traditional people was on beat and had the steps down.
They just picked it up so easily.
You just instinct. It just happens sometimes. You just
when you feel
once
it.
in a lifetime, you are all in the same zone. It's like the Mandela effect, but all the choreography, everything at once goes into everybody's brain, and they can all just.
Like in the fictional universe of Family Matters, I know that's something like even like 20 years later, the people in the Family Matters universe, they're like, y'all remember that one time in high school when that dude just started dancing and we all knew the steps? That was crazy, wasn't it? You know what? It really was.
Did you learn those?
Right.
I just knew them for some reason. I don't know why, but I just knew them.
Not only did we know the steps, but we knew the words too. Like do the Urkel, do the Urkel. Like who wrote this? Manuel Miranda.
Oh man.
Oh yes, that was a great topic, Ray. I'm glad you brought that to the table, man.
Well, I'm glad that you guys found it amusing and entertaining, and that you guys are able to think of some picks for it. So.
And that might again, that like much like with the service members question, that might be something we come back to from time to time because we just scratched the surface of the songs that we could get into because there's so many more songs that just happened in these shows and in these films that, like, yeah, to this day I still just think about them. So great question, Ray. But you know what else I think about? Why there are so many hungry animals in the world, and we can't feed them all, Ray. We can all do our part. And so what we do here in Nefarious Media, what we do here at the Parlay, we go down to the pond and we go feed these ducks, Ray. There we go with the sensual duck music.
Oh my God.
Like quack quack. Like, what are those ducks doing? Why is he on her like that? I don't understand. I'm a naive young man. But this Feeding the Ducks on the Pond, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to this program, this is where we all bring a topic to the table and we go around the horn and talk about it. So, Ray, since you just brought us that brilliant topic, I'm going to let you go. I think I'll let you go second in this rotation. Let's start with Gerard Downtown Brown. What question would you like to bring to the group, brother?
Ooh, how kind, because I was waiting to go second on this one. I was sweating on this question. It's the first time. And I knew it was coming too. And I'm over here like, say, what's my question?
Do I have anything like Michael B. Jordan?
Nah.
You'll have a Michael B.
Your favorite Michael B.
I
Jordan?
bet. Nah, I bet. Since you want to play the game, we gonna play the game. You got to take over a Michael B. Jordan role.
Okay.
Like, you got to go live in that fictional universe as that Michael B. Jordan character. Where are you going?
Okay, that's a good question, but it's easy for me. Come on, man.
First. Go ahead.
It's easy. It's easy for me, Gerard, because yes, like Michael B's got a lot of great characters in a lot of great fictional universes, but only one of those characters is A, the heavyweight champion of the world, and B, married to Tessa Thompson. I'm Adonis Creed on these streets.
Dang it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ray is like, damn, I should have gone first.
I really should. I was thinking Creed all the way. But I know for certain is not going to be who he played in The Wire, because Lord knows I ain't trying to be in Baltimore. Downtown Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. I go up there every once in a while. But I think, and I've kind of actually adored this particular movie, but he played in the series. I'm not sure what role he played in the series, but if I had to be a part of this universe, I would be one of the football players in Friday Night Lights.
Yep. That's a good pick.
Yep.
Texas
I'm not
high
mad
school
at that.
football player.
Yeah.
I'm stuck between two.
You asked the damn question.
Two roles. I know I asked the damn question. I got two. I'm stuck between two.
Like, do I want to be a vampire?
And that's legit. That's what I'm leaning towards.
It was like you had three picks.
I'm like, I'm not getting stabbed and just get. Hey, heal me, homie. I'll say the deep speech, but then take me to the back and heal me, and just let me be in the shadows. Do not let me just die on this cliff like that. I'm sorry. No, we can work this out. I am your cousin. We can work this out. Let's figure it. Nah, but it's between Ken, because you don't really know him and Ken until the very end of the movie when he removes his mask, and he's been one of the secret agents that's been helping the whole time. Ken's this movie about like this kid who gets like this gun, and then they go to this precinct and this kind of shootouts happen and all this other stuff. And then Michael B comes at the very, very end of the movie, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been this secret agent the whole time doing my thing, and I'm really your futuristic self," or something like that, along the lines of that. So, like, and like time travel and all that, I could do that with him, or I could be a vampire. And so, and like, all right, let's play this game. If I pick Sinners, do I get to be both? Am I just now a twin?
I mean, technically, they're both Michael B. Jordan roles.
Yeah, but you one person out of it, though. You can't be both people.
I mean,
you have to pick one.
Right now. Yeah.
Also, I got to pick one role out of that movie if I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Ken then, because I'm alive.
Okay.
I want to be a vampire, just be roaming the earth forever. It's cool to see stuff change, but also. Nah, I'm good. Like, yeah, I got Mary with me, but time traveling sounds cool too. So I'm going with Michael B. Jordan out of Ken.
Okay, I mean, technically, a vampire's a kind of time traveler. It's just really slow time travel.
Right.
But you can't go back.
You can't go back, but you can go forward as much as you want.
That's so boring.
Just real slow.
And then at night, think about that. I don't want to be stuck outside, like indoors during the day. I can be out. Yeah, I'm a night owl, but
can't go to no WrestleMania.
I need some sun too. I need to go to the grocery store. They closed now. How am I getting my food? That's what we're doing.
You got to be
Walmart ain't
DoorDashing,
open
brother.
24/7 no more. So like, how am I doing this? Like, where am I going? So
that DoorDash bill is through the roof. Through the roof. That's a good question though, Gerard. I like that one. But yeah, I beat you on that one, Ray. And I knew it was like somebody. I got to get to Creed before Ray gets there.
Oh,
and my mama Felicia Rashad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you said, and he had money before he became the champ.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That one time my friend from back in the day came and tried to whoop my ass and took the title for a little bit, but we made up after the fight. It's all good.
I mean, you get the money, but you taking some hard beatings, man. It's Drago, and you taking beatings for things you didn't know was going wrong. Right. You taking beatings for past actions, and you got revenge trips. You go to come on.
The crazy thing about Creed, though, Creed kind of follows the Fast and Furious formula. But like, if you was a good enough villain in the movie before, they bring you onto the team because like Drago and Creed cool now.
Yeah.
I bet you, like, depending on Jonathan Major's situation, he might be cool when they come back.
Maybe if they come back, yeah.
But that's a good question. I like that one. Ray Williams, what you got for these Ducks, man?
All right. Well, I'm gonna stick to music. Another question that came to my mind is, what is your favorite commercial jingle or just or song used within a commercial, and not like a licensed song, but like an original song?
Okay.
Like I was gonna go with TV themes.
Hey, hold on, Ray. Let him cook. He was. Go ahead, Jerome. Go ahead, Jerome.
I was like, get connected for free. Education connection. Get connected for free. Education connection.
She told you her whole story, Ray. She told you her whole story. She was working part-time, wasn't making no money. She went on the internet and found the connection.com. That was a hit. That was doing platinum numbers in non-traditional households.
That was a bomb.
You had that, and you had my man who lead it in with his hat to the side.
You're
at home. You're on the couch. You ain't doing nothing. Why don't you do something for your future? And then she get connected for free. And then
exactly.
Why was he always out at night? Like he wasn't out during the day. It's like middle of the night on some random street corner. You ain't doing that. Like he's a vampire. You ain't doing nothing.
He can do his work.
I've been alive for 500 years. I know you ain't doing nothing.
I think somebody had an interview with him, and he was like, "Oh well." The real story was like he was frustrated because they did that tape like over and over and over again, and so at the end, that's the one that they kept when he was mad. When it was just mad. It was like,
sitting at home watching TV, you ain't doing nothing with your life.
Is this the Scorsese of like college commercials? Like we gonna keep doing this until you get it right.
Right.
Now give me that emotion. You at home, you're on the couch. Like, man.
Make a call for your future. Damn. Like, okay.
Right. Okay. Why are you making it hard? It's easy. And then the walk off.
Yeah, the walk off.
He really went home.
He said, I ain't doing this no more.
He said, I'm done. Make it work.
Yo, that's some good ones out there. Like the Education Connection one still hit. Your man, JG Wentworth. JG Wentworth gone platinum on these commercial streets.
877 cash now.
Cash now. I got a structured settlement rate, but I need my cash now. The Empire guy. I know Steve Willie's a fan of the Empire guy.
Of course.
Empire today. O'Reilly's been putting up numbers.
Oh yeah.
O'Reilly's Auto Parts. That's a hot one.
O'Reilly.
Auto parts. Ow. You gotta put the ow in there.
Yeah.
The little 80s owl.
I'm gonna go with a new one though, Ray. A new one. I don't even know if this is a real song that they're using for a commercial, because when I try to use Shazam, I got it on my phone, it never pulls up the actual song. But it's something, it's either a phone company or it's wireless or something, but it's the one where they got the little kids like going door to door, and then the one kid's like not doing well, and like the guy brings out the change and it falls all over the floor, and they playing that song in the background. I'm the champion, I'm the champion, I'm the champion, I'm the champion. That's a good song, Ray. That's a good one. That's you wasn't feeling that one, Ray. So I'm gonna give you one more. You kind of disrespected the champion. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with one more, Ray. I'm gonna go with one more, and it is one that I feel like used to be played a lot, but I don't know if there's any use for this particular service anymore, at least not in the way that it was. And that is like, because I feel like it seems like a useful service in practice. But there's so many local shops, like why would you go for this national service? And I don't even know like what the delay time is for them getting to you, and that's SafeLight, man.
Oh,
SafeLight repair, SafeLight replace. It's like, why would you
hear that? I had to actually go to SafeLight, and they're like, "Oh, we can do it. We can come to your location and actually fix your windshield." I was like, "Oh, great!" And they're like, "Oh, actually, the model of your Honda, actually, we can't. You need to come on in." I'm like, "Well,
exactly," and that's my point. Like, I'm not
your
sure
song is useless now.
It's a structured, like, it's a good business model, because it's like there's so many variables. Now that I'm in the automotive industry, Ray, I know these insider things. Like, to me, SafeLight is like I feel like SafeLight's just gonna end up sending you to the local shop anyway. So it's like, why not just go to the local shop, even though they ain't got no jingle, Ray?
Right, that's true.
You asked the damn question, Ray. What you got?
And I will answer. So, of course, we love like the short ones, like you said, like the ones that just give like a phone number or just give you what you need in like a good 5 seconds. Like you mentioned, the Empire song is iconic. One that I thought of, Express Home Buyers, we buy your house in 7 days. We got that one. That's a jam. Home Fitter is the perfect fit.
Bath fitters put up numbers.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm surprised you haven't thought of this one before, Nate. But when Visa, they had like their deal with the NFL, and they would have like NFL players on their commercials, and one specifically tailored towards the Atlanta Falcons. Do the Julio,
yeah, dance to the Julio.
Flap your hands.
It take off like the Urkel dance though.
Oh, that was my jam though. I was playing that over again. But one that like is seared into my memory from like childhood.
Okay.
And I think I saw this in a video, or I think they had it kind of, I want to say, preserved for history on YouTube. It's a commercial. It's a Tootsie Roll commercial, not the Tootsie Pop one with the owl.
Right.
Tootsie Roll one. Tootsie Roll, I think I'm in love with you.
Whatever it is, I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll. Sound like you got a problem, young man. Some type of mental breakdown going on. You just seeing Tootsie Rolls everywhere.
I know. You better be lucky it's just Tootsie Rolls and not nothing illicit.
That's a good one, Ray. You know what?
About when you say Tootsie Rolls,
right? It's context there.
I know, right?
Established. A commercial that used to get me sentimental back in the day, Ray, was everybody's got their Christmas commercials, and there was this one commercial where the Honey Nut Cheerios was out there, bringing Honey Nut Cheerios to people as he does. and he brings it to Mr. Scrooge's house. Scrooge is like, I don't really want this cereal, man. And he's like, come on, Mr. Scrooge, it's gonna help you out. And he takes a bite of this the cereal, and then the choir just materializes from out of nowhere, Ray. It's a honey oven, oh, honey nut Cheerios. And I'm like, a bowl of cereal could change a man's heart.
Warm your heart.
Warm your heart. Somebody get Donald Trump a box right now. See if that don't change the world.
And his cholesterol.
And his cholesterol. Because all he do is eat burgers apparently, and not the tofu burgers Ray's making. The bean sprout burgers.
Bean sprout.
And don't be hating on my veggie, on my Impossible Whoppers. They're delicious.
I've had Impossible meat that's actually. I will jump on the island with you, Ray. I've had Impossible burgers that have been pretty undetectable at times. I'm not gonna just throw all Impossible, but I can't do the black beans. If my black beans is not in my chili, I'm sorry.
So real quick, I have a story. This is a story from a choir trip we went on one time, right? So I was going to like 2 churches at the same time. So like I was at the traditional church, which was where I had been going. But and matter of fact, this ties into our guy Sinatra Royale, because this was his pops. His pops had started his own church. And so I was going there, A, because I kind of felt more community there, and B, because I was helping them with the music and stuff. And so we went to this conference in Philly one time, and this was like this is when I was still in my Christian band phase, Ray. So me and my man Sinatra, we thought we was about to rub shoulders with so Rodney Jerkins, Darkchild, his brother was a Christian music producer, and so we thought we was gonna be in the mix and make some connections and stuff. And the Truth Commission was there. You don't know nothing about them boys, the Truth Commission, Ray. If you like Wu-Tang Clan, you'll love the Truth Commission. But we stopped at a restaurant before we got to Philly. And so I was trying to be healthy, like I think it was like something that summer. I was like, man, I'm gonna lose 50 pounds, da 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 da. And so we went to a restaurant, and I was like, I really want a burger, but I don't want all the fat. I saw they had a mushroom burger, like the patty was like a fried mushroom, and I was like, you know what? Let me try the mushroom burger. So I ordered the mushroom burger. My pastor ordered like a bacon cheeseburger. I think I got cheese and bacon on my mushroom burger. So I'm sitting there. I take a bite of this mushroom burger. I'm like, yo. You can't even tell it's not beef. And then pastor just kind of looks at his plate, looks at my plate, looks back at his plate, and is like, I could do. Nate, they got your burger. You got my burger, man. Oh, and I was like stuck for a second. I was like, I only bit off this one time, pastor. I can cut it. I can cut it right. So then he was like, no. So I ate my burger. I had my mushroom burger that he didn't touch, that was like wrapped up, and he had to order another burger. So it's like, I was like, man, mushroom burgers, they doing it big. Like you can't even tell it's not beef, Gerard.
Man, the fact that I already knew what was going down. The second you say he looked down at his,
I was so happy too. I was like, this tastes like a real burger. And then he's like,
oh my goodness.
Well, how was the mushroom burger?
The mushroom burger was alright, but it wasn't as good as the real burger, unfortunately. It might have been different if I had the mushroom burger first or only, but I had something to compare it to. And it was like, you're not the real thing. But my question, Ray Williams, for the group, as we finish feeding the ducks in the pond, bringing it back. It is Memorial Day. It's a day not only to remember our soldiers, men and women that have lost their lives in service to this country, but it's also a time for gatherings and cookouts, if you will. My question for the group: would you rather host the cookout or attend the cookout, and why? Ray Williams.
Well, I think I kind of alluded to this before. If I host it, I'm not grilling. I'm going to have somebody grilling in my place, and I don't know if that is good I'll attend and I'll bring something. I won't be the person that comes empty-handed and then takes 5 plates home. I will bring something if you allow. I won't bring no veggie stuff. I'll bring chips. I'll bring some soda if you want me to. But yeah, I'd rather be an attendee than actual.
Follow-up question, Ray. Follow-up. So you're attending the cookout. Are you gonna be one of them people that like you got your own food and then you like going to the guy on the grill like, excuse me, can you clean this off so I can put my mushroom burger on the grill?
I won't have them clean it off. I'll go ahead. I'll contaminate it. I won't want to be that person that be like, oh, you got to cook my stuff first and then you can cook everything else. Although people know they've been around me long enough to where it was like, oh, we'll do your stuff first. I was like, I didn't tell you to. I appreciate it though.
Thank you for accommodating me.
Yes, I was gonna say like this is a difference. Like, yes, we would accommodate you, Ray, but you can't be making demands at the damn grill.
I ain't making no demands. Beggars can't be choosers. and if I don't bring anything, then I'll stick to the sides. Like a great example was yesterday when I actually went to a cookout with my aunt, over my aunt's house, and they really didn't have any veggie stuff, and I do eat fish as well, but this particular time they weren't able to get any fish, so I was like, I'll stick with the tuna salad. And
oh, I just imagine Ray in the corner with a cold plate of tuna salad, everybody else having a good time playing spades and dominoes, and Ray just sitting there all by myself, bringing it back to half baked. Oh, Gerard, would you rather host the cookout or attend the cookout?
9 times out of 10, I would say host. My current living situation means that I'm hosting a very unique version of this cookout because I can't grill around my apartment building in my space. And so how I've done it, what was it, a year or two ago? Might have been last year. I'm very unsure. But one of these last Memorial Days, I float down the river here in town. We have a river called the Huron River that floats literally all the way through my town. It's the one I kayak on. It's about 3 miles long. I have some inflatable tubes, and so we get the inflatable tubes. I get my large JBL speaker. We get a cooler. Each of my tubes have coolers. So what we do is we pack all the food and the grill at the end of the river. We float the whole river, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So you get your water park experience. At the end of the river, we pull out somebody has a truck with my grill, a couple coolers with the meats, the foods, all that. People bring their potato salads and then we eating outside with it. But it's not by the river. We come like closer into this park area where they have like grills and whatnot, and then we can grill there. So that's my cookout. Once I get a home, I'll host a cookout easily at my house and it can just be chill like that. But right now, that is my version of the cookout. And so, yes, I would love to, and I love to host it because I learned it. I got it from my mama. I keep it a buck. She's hosted a lot of things that I grew up watching her do. And so I love hosting for that reason.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd be floating for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think all on the water, dude, maybe
down the river,
20 minutes. I don't know.
You got to float down the river to get to the food, though, Ray.
Oh Lord.
You can walk there, but it might take you longer. Keep it above. It might take you longer.
I might have to cheat. Like, is there like a bus route or something now?
I mean, we got water, we got drinks, we have amenities, we have snacks. We bring like chips and stuff because people gonna be hungry on the water. Just zip tied it in a dry bag. I'm prepared. I do.
Ray taking an Uber to the end of the river.
Exactly. I'll see y'all down.
Well, see, that's not gonna work either, though, Ray, unless you time it right. Because if you take an Uber right when everybody leaves, you'll be there for like an hour before anybody gets there.
Early, yeah. I just be sitting there
grilling up everything. Get his stuff on the grill first, so that way he can get right. Then he can be hooking up everybody else. And that we get off the water, be like, oh yeah, Ray over there. Follow the smell to the grill. We gonna get there.
I smell grilled quinoa. Must be Ray. Must be Ray.
Is that asparagus with garlic?
Oh, I asked the damn question, Ray Williams.
You gotta answer.
I gotta answer it. I'm kind of with Gerard on this, but I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I do like hosting, but I think the older I get, the less I like hosting at my home. Unless it's like a small group, but in my mind, I'm thinking like a double-digit number of people. So I like going to the park that's like maybe 10 minutes away from the house and having to cook out there. Because it's a lot of stuff I got to put stuff in the car and take it down there and everything. But it's a lot less cleanup afterwards, particularly when folks be sipping. Because you know my kind of parties, Ray. We're gonna be sipping, Ray. And so it's like just for the sake of not having to clean up after the cookout, I would host it at the park. And there's something about the little grills at the park. It feels quaint, right? It feels old fashioned. Like instead of having like the big old grill, it's just these random ass little grill cubicles that they have stationed in the park. And so I like that. You just have everybody bring what they want to get thrown on the grill. Bring your own drinks because I'm not paying for nobody's habits. And we just have a good time, Ray, and just reminisce about the old days, man. Reminisce about that time when we was in high school and that nerdy kid started a dance party and we all knew the steps, Ray. We all knew the steps. And then after we didn't know how we knew it. All I know is like his best friend had a baby sister and she went upstairs one day and never came back down. It's a lot of weird stuff that happened in that town. That nerdy kid had a machine that turned the police never, and it's weird because his daddy was like a police captain and he didn't even investigate his own daughter's disappearance. Was he involved with it? It's just a lot of weird stuff happening in that town, Ray Williams. But you know what? I had to get out of that town. That's why we having to cook out at this park. And after we finished eating, and everybody's had a good time. Everybody's had their fill of drinks and food. We keep walking down to the pond, and that's where we feed these. I had to wait for the music to come back in, and that's where we feed these damn ducks on the pond. Cut the music, Ray Williams. We did it again.
Indeed,
that was a real abrupt cut. That was like. That was that Saturday night's main event. We'll see you at Money in the Bank. We're gone. Like we're out of time, folks. Like they didn't let that angle breathe at all.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Like y'all just gonna announce this tag team match and go to commercial. Like stay tuned for your local news.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. I didn't get a chance to mention it earlier, but I was like, man, they just made Jay look like a goof. His music was still playing, and Cody like, cut it off. I got something to say.
Cody was like, I seen how much time we got left on this damn broadcast for all these commercials. Let me handle this, Jay, because
they were running the credits and everything.
Right.
Put your hands down, Jay. I gotta say something. Stop.
Yeah, leave it to a pro, kid. Because the local news is coming on in 5 seconds.
Right.
Then our top story, local performer Powerline was spotted on stage when a white substance fell out of his pocket. More news to follow.
It's my prerogative.
I made this money, Goofy. You can't tell me what to do. We out of here, Max. It's like, no, Max, don't go with him. You're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be, Max. But that brings us to the end of another successful episode of the Parley, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed what you heard here this week, whether you watched it live or whether you're listening in the future, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. $5 gets you in the door. If you want to pay more, we won't stop you. We're on the drive for 500, right? 500 patrons and 500 YouTube subscribers. Those are our stretch goals for the rest of the year. And if you want to help us accomplish those goals, sign up to the Patreon, subscribe to the YouTube, and if you've already done those two things, share the show with your friends because we got a lot of stuff we got cooking besides Ray's Mushroom Burgers. But yes, before we get out of here, let's go around the horn one last time to the Michael B. Jordan aficionado himself, Gerard Downtown Brown. Anything you want to promote, brother? Anything you want to say before we get out of here tonight?
Now just keep me locked in. Keep locked into Nefarious. Help us reach our goals, especially that drive to 500. But otherwise, get ready for Ring Theory episode 3 coming out next month. Ramping up and getting ready for that. Outside of that, we are maybe by the time you see me next, I might be in a new location, so no more boxes and all this other stuff around me. But hey, we'll see. I might even have more boxes by the next time. Then we'll find out. But it's always an honor, y'all.
No doubt, no doubt. This brother said he moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the Sky, Ray Williams.
Oh, don't give away. That'll be my next question. The theme songs.
There's so much we got on the table for future episodes of the Parlay. Ray Williams, what you got going on? I know we dropped a new episode of Spinning Black Fists, aka Styles Break Fights, aka the SBF podcast today with you and Chinyere Okafor. So anything else you want to promote, brother?
Oh, well, that's the primary stuff. Like you mentioned, SBF dropped today, please. If you're into MMA, we talked about UFC 316. We talked about the fallout from the main event. We talked about 2 divisions, welterweight and the lightweight being shaken up. We talked about the once newly announced relationship, or I guess partnership, between Turki Al-Sheikh from Saudi Arabia and Dana White, or TKO, and now that already being thrown into question with the Canelo and Bud Crawford fight being put under a different promoter other than TKO. So is there trouble on the waters already? We talk about all that stuff and more on the SBF podcast with myself and Chichi Okafor. Of course, continue to support us here at Nefarious Media Network on all of our platforms, not only patreon.com// Nefarious Media Network. Get it? Say it correctly. But also wherever you go on social media, you can find us on TikTok, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on X/Twitter, where I'm starting to put out more content. And as Brother Nate mentioned in our previous broadcast before on the Kings of Sport proper and on Ring Theory, with the support of us getting to 500, that'll hopefully support getting more people involved as far as production. We will help even the load out a little bit, but I'm still trying to work diligently and work hard so that I don't get replaced. Please don't replace me.
I mean, you know, I can't make no promises, Ray. You know, everything's negotiable in this world. But no, Ray's been doing a great job, man. Check out the clips that Ray's been putting up on YouTube and on our social media outlets. You know, just little morsels, little snippets of what we give you each and every time here on the Nefarious Media Network. We're giving you that truthful, thoughtful, turned up commentary on the world. And yeah, for me, obviously, Nefarious is the home base. So Kings of Sport, Avengers Initiative, we'll be back soon talking about Thunderbolts. Ray, you know they're the new Avengers, right? I don't know if anybody told you that, right? You know, there's an asterisk right at the end of the title. That asterisk actually stands for the new Avengers because they're the new Avengers. I don't know if y'all heard. Spoiler alert. But yeah, we appreciate everybody that tuned in live on Memorial Day. Again, salute to all the troops, past, present, and future, for what y'all do for this country, even when the country is not honoring you in the best way they should by living up to its goals and its creeds. It's Adonis creeds, if you will. I brought it all back around, full circle. But yeah, if you want more from me personally, check me out on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic. Check me out on Blue Sky, Nate Mosaic 757, and IG Black Nate BLAQUE _8. And that's where I'll be. So for Ray and for Gerard Downtown Brown, we appreciate y'all for checking out this edition of the Parlay, and we'll be back next week with something else we don't know yet. You know, that's how we kind of plan things one show at a time, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do around these parts, at least until Jordan dumps Bill Belichick and becomes like the manager here at Nefarious Media. It's like I don't know how she got here. I don't know why Jordan Hudson is now running Nefarious Media, but it's not right, but it's okay. But until then, Keep it locked here, man. Again, subscribe to the show, subscribe to the Patreon, the YouTube, and share the show with your friends. I was gonna end this with like the Major Payne laugh that he does at the end of the movie, Ray, but that's way too much. Like I ain't got the Damon Wayans chops. Because that again is something small and it like shouldn't work, but the way he just like it keeps going for like 30 seconds longer than it should, but it just works. So that's how it ended, man. Y'all go watch Major Payne today. I don't know if it's on Amazon or if you got to go through some Nefarious memes to get it, but Major Payne definitely should be part of your Memorial Day catalog. So for Ray and Gerard, I'm the Godfather Nate Milton. Y'all be safe. Enjoy what is left of Memorial Day 2025, and we will talk to y'all next week for an all-new edition of I don't know yet. Hey, them bean sprout burgers. Extra cheese.
Cheese.